What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on this bad boy, the 2020 YZ450, my son's race bike. I'm going to be giving you some tips on what you should do before taking your kid to the track.
Crazy, that's how we living it. I'm feeling lovely. I'm drinking bubbly.
Today we're going to be working on our 2020 YZ450. Pretty much going to be showing you some basic safety tips that I would recommend before going to the track, either at a beginner level or at a pro level. Now, most of the time when you guys are at a pro level, they have mechanics, which is me. So they'll be the ones preparing your bike, but if you're, again, like us, we got to do it all ourselves. You know, I don't really rely on anybody else to do it. And we ride a lot, tear a lot of shit up. Right now I have my bike broke down. Let me swing over here. We broke a swing arm. So I'm replacing a swing arm, and I figured, you know what, now's a good time. We're going to the track tomorrow. I'm getting ready to reinstall my swing arm. We kind of break down everything to show you what I would recommend to do before going to the track. My son rides this, so I kind of go a little extra sometimes as far as like the safety stuff, even like the services. But it is what it is. You gotta be safe. You know, I get on this, my kid's on this. You know, I own a motorcycle strap, as you can tell. So if I'm working on this for your child or yourself, you know, I want to be extra. But anyway, guys, let's jump into it. Far on the Yamahas, now all the bikes are different. KX, Yamaha, Husky, KTM. KTM and Husky, I think, actually might be in the same places, but most of the time your air filters are here on the Yamahas and the Kawasaki's and Suzuki. Yamaha's got a new design, obviously, in the newer bikes, that the air filter is up here. Now this area up here gets extremely dirty. Our air filter really doesn't get that dirty. Like, this is actually, I haven't cleaned this yet. This is actually just how I pulled it out. Still oiled up pretty good. I don't really go overdue on the oil because it just makes a mess, and then sometimes I think that the air doesn't flow like it's supposed to when you put too much oil on it. Kind of gags the bike out a little. And sometimes you can tell with that how fast the tank burns during that day, during that session. But anyway, I try to keep all this clean. Take a small screwdriver action. I plug all this because this will be full of mud depending on where you ride at. Sand doesn't really build up that much, but over time, you know, as you see with the oil, everything else, it builds up. So, step one, clean your air filter, check your air filter, check your air filter housing, make sure that it's all clean, because like I said, that's where it all starts right there. Horsepower starts right here, baby. So, anyway, I don't really want to jump around, but I guess we'll go with the air filter. The bike has an internal fuel filter. I've checked that a couple of months ago. Obviously, you got to take the tank apart to get to that. So we're not going to do that one today. Install this real quick. I have all the plastics off because I like to polish the frame up a little bit. Sometimes, you know, wash it, you'll miss all this little stuff in here. It's kind of hard to wash, so about every 2 or 3 months I'll break the bike completely down and scrub it and put aluminum cleaner on the motor and everything else. Alright, well, secondly, let's go to the second thing. Air filters first. Second thing is I always check the wheel bearings. My bike sits on a stand, so I can spin them real easy to make sure that the wheel bearings are good. Another good way to check, these are your caps for your spacers. Make sure they spin well. Now I use WD-40, and what I'll do is I will spray the inside of the cap, spray inside here, spin it a few good times, and then I like to take the axle. I clean the axle completely down, put it on the wire wheel every time, re-grease it. But in this instant, actually I didn't re-grease it, I didn't clean it yet. I wiped it down, it was still nice. And then I put WD-40, and I even put it in the bearings. And this is a good way to check your bearings. You know, spin it individually, put it on one side, and we'll swap it over to the other. But that one seems to be pretty smooth. I got no up and down play, so I have to say that that side's good. Make sure your sprocket's tight, check all your bolts. And the reason why I am changing a swing arm is because these bolts came loose. Now again, sounds weird. We go to the track. It's more of a, I guess, MXGP track. Thing doesn't come loose. We go to our local track right here. It's a sand track. It's kind of fast. Thing comes immediately apart, and that's what ate our swing arm up. So you always want to double check this, Loctite these. A lot of the pro guys, they'll drill a little tiny hole through there and put the safety clip through them so they can't come loose. So anyway, let's check the other side. Same thing. I spin the cap after I've obviously put WD-40 on it. Which put that in there. Spins nice. I got no up and down play, so I have to say that bearing's good also. Now I have replaced these, and obviously check your bolts on your brakes. Those things are pretty sturdy. They usually don't come apart too much. I don't want to say that I've had one come apart yet, as far as the brake. So let's roll this out of the way. Also, let me roll it back over here. Got the tire off. Let's check it. I mean, I've already checked my tire, so I think it's kind of quick. I just kind of roll through it, make sure there's no splits. I've got about, I want to say about 3 motos on this tire. My son's got 2 motos on it, and I've got 1 moto on the tire, so we're still pretty good. When I get to the track, I'll check the air pressure. I usually try to run about 17 pounds. Well, let me rephrase it, depending on what track we're at, because sometimes I run this between 10 and 12, 13 pounds, the front tire, 14, 15, 17, just depending on what kind of track, you know, how you want the bike to handle. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? Alright, let's get this extension cord off of here real quick. Alright, next thing is the chain. Now I have the rear tire off, so it's easy to check your chain. I've already oiled mine up, but usually you kind of roll through it, make sure there's no kinks and the bin's fine. Make sure it's not stiff or locked up in any way, because then obviously it's time to change the chain. And I can't really give you like a life expectancy on a chain, just basically it depends on how you ride. Me typically on my personal bike, if it was just me riding it, I change the sprockets. The chains really don't go too bad on me because I'm not real hard on them, I'm not that fast. This guy here, I'm changing chains and sprockets on this stuff every couple of rides, probably well, that's a lot, probably once a month, I guess. And he's getting faster and faster, so that's happening a little more and more and more. But definitely, you want to check your teeth, roll through there, check your teeth on, make sure there's no broken teeth, and make sure that they're not rolled forward. Then it's also time to change the sprockets. Same thing on the rear sprockets. Want to make sure they're nice and peaked up. You don't see any missing, or they're starting to roll. Those typically will start to roll first before the front sprockets. The front sprockets seem to be a little bit stronger, obviously because they're a little bit smaller, a little bit thicker. But rear sprockets usually go out first. So, all right, on to the next thing. Oil. Ours has a fill cap on this side. My bike is facing the wrong way right now, but ours has a sight glass on this side, and on that side there's another fill hole also. So with my bike being level, I haven't started it yet. I want to make a check and make sure that there's oil in that sight glass. You want it to be at least halfway up in the sight glass. I think there's a high and low marker, and dead smack in the middle is usually pretty good. I run ours just a little bit above halfway. I don't know why, just do. I always check that first before. Ours has electric start. Most bikes, now it's 2023, have electric start. So I'll check it, make sure I got oil in it. Coolant, your radiator, obviously you want to check it and make sure it's full also. Most of the bikes are pretty accessible up here, right on the, like I said, my bike is facing the wrong way, but typically I can reach right down there, pop the cap, make sure it's got water in it. Check my oil, make sure I got oil in it. Fire in the hole. Fire it up, I let it run. A couple of minutes, just kind of get warmed up. I don't even rack it, I just let it idle. Let it warm itself up. Then I'll rack it a couple times, shut it off. Then I'll go ahead and recheck my oil. Let it sit there for a minute, let it cool down, let the oil settle down. Check it, make sure the oil's still in the same spot, you're good to go. Or if you have to add, or if you gotta take some out, then you got an issue. Next thing I check, usually if it's sitting up on the stand, I'll lean the bike back a little bit and I will check my neck bearings. You don't want those to be kind of crunchy or at all. You want them to be super baby butt smooth. Don't want no crunchiness. No crunchy. If it's crunchy, they bad. You wreck. Yeah, those things go bad. Bad juju. After I check this, we run spring forks. I do not run air forks, but still typically if I had air forks in it, I'm not going to mess with them here at the house. I'll mess with them when I get to the track, because it seems to be like with air forks, I can adjust it now and I'm going to have to adjust it again when I get to the track. So save myself the trouble, I just do it when I get to the track. But a lot of times, like on these, they still have a little air release. I usually press them, make sure that all the air's out of them. It's just me. Alright, next, front forks. Pretty simple. I don't see the oil, they're not leaking. And usually if the bike has been sitting, I keep mine on a stand. So if the bike has been sitting, usually the oil will seep out, especially with inverted forks nowadays. All the oil is, builds up here and they can just sit in it. It'll leak themselves completely empty. You want to make sure that all these are tight. Now they are set to a specific tightness, specific newton meters or inch pounds. All the bikes are different. They might be 7 foot-pounds, 14 foot-pounds, or 7 newton meters, 14 newton meters. All of them are different. Check your service manual for that. And like I said, those you want to check, make sure they're dialed in correctly. Next thing I'm usually kind of checking everything up on top of here. Make sure his levers are good. Make sure I got good front brake pressure. You don't want, and on the front brake side, if the bike's been sitting and you squeeze it and it's kind of squishy, sometimes it will build air up in the lines. Ours is still, it's probably about time to rebuild ours. He's pretty heavy on the front brakes. He uses the front brakes a lot on this bike. Me, I'm the opposite way. I use a lot of the rear brakes, so we do go through a lot of brakes. Typically we have 2 bikes, but right now mine is down. We're riding this one. Alright, so once you get all this covered, make sure all your cables are adjusted correctly. Make sure it feels really good to you. Check your spacing. Typically when I set his bars up and myself, my hands are a little bit bigger than his, so when we're riding the bike, I usually just set it to him and I just deal with it. But typically, you want your fingers to be facing like this on the bike with your elbows up, so typically the levers are going to be in a little bit farther. So you can one finger. I always want the one finger. Now my cables and stuff are all tight and checked. Those are all good. My throttle feels good. I don't need no adjusting. And again, as far as like the throttle and the clutch cables, I let him kind of do that. I do it here, but when he gets on the bike and he gets on the track, he'll adjust it to his liking and where he wants it set. So I just kind of get it a base spot on there that I know is where it's supposed to be, and I let him go from there. Alright, so all this is checked out. Forks are checked out. Those are tight. The forks aren't leaking. They're good. And again, now when I say check these, there's 2 also down there on your front forks and by your brakes. So make sure they're all 10 millimeter on most bikes. Make sure they're all tight. Check your front brake. Now, ours is a floating front rotor, so it is wore out. So it's got a little bit of movement in there. You don't really want to have any movement. If you get this, it's time to change it. Like I said, we go through a lot of brakes. Here's what it is. Check your cables. Make sure none of your brake cables. Obviously, we just check for brake pressure. So if the cable was leaking, it's just something I check. When I put the back tire on, I get the swing arm back on. I'll go ahead and run through the gears. With the bike just sitting there, not running, just kind of go through the gears, make sure they shift good. So the transmission is still working properly, even though the bike's not running. Sometimes, if you want to be cool, fire the bike up and run it through the gears. The tire's not touching the ground, so it should be okay, as long as you know what you're doing. Alright, and now that I have the swing arm off, typically I just make sure these are greased up. I don't check them a lot. These have needle bearings in them, in the down here in the dog bone. They fall out a lot. They fall out really easy, so I try not to mess with them too much. You can tell if they're bad or not when you go to pick the bike up. You'll feel the bike kind of separate itself and give you a little clunking noise to let you know that they're bad. If mine was back together, I would have showed you because the ones that were in here were bad. We got new ones in there now. But like I said, again, I just kind of hit them with WD-40. I take them out, I clean them, put them back in. Let me rephrase that. When the bike is together, I just make sure that they're clean. Shoot them with some WD-40 through the bolt. Go. And then with the swing arm, obviously I check. Same thing with the rear as you do with the front. You want to check the bolts, make sure your chain is properly tightened, make sure the tensioner is properly tightened. The chain guide, which is this piece here, you want to make sure that the chain isn't running through here, or so that means your chain is not tightened to spec, like where it's supposed to be. You want a nice smooth travel right through here, so it's not hidden. Obviously the top's there, and I'm losing bolts. Don't do that. So, but that's pretty much it, folks. Like I said, front to back, I usually check everything, and I will go ahead and run through all the bolts, just all the outside bolts. Just make sure they're all snug. I don't even really put a lot of force on them because they should be tightened already. But if they're loose, obviously tighten them. But I check my motor mount bolts. I check pretty much everything. Doesn't take that long on these bikes. There's a lot to them, but not a lot to them. You can pretty much go through the whole entire bike in about 30 minutes. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video on the safety tips. Like I said, they're just basic safety tips that I would do to anybody's bike before getting on the track. So please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Thank you everybody who's watching. You guys are awesome. Let's go to the track.